Hello, my name is Oliver, and in this video I'm going to explain to you the process that I'm looking to automate through the use of some Windows software program. So I'm on a Mac currently, and I'm accessing my Windows PC through GoToMyPC remote access, and because the program that we're using, this scheduling manager software which I have installed on my PC, can only be installed on one PC. So for you to use this program, you'd have to use some sort of remote access in order to access my PC. So anyway, we'll get started. So the first thing we need to do, the first part of the process, part of the automated process, would be to open up the scheduling manager software, which is this watch symbol down here. Okay, and that will bring up the system here. We press OK here, and then we click Customer Information. Okay. Then what we want to do is we want to reduce the size of this window, bring it over so it only fills up about half the screen. Okay. Now we want to go to open up this file, and I'll give you the exact file location for this. The name of the file is the Combined Invoice Calculator, and it's an Excel document, so we'll just open that up. And then again, we want to reduce the size of this. Whoops, I've closed it down. The problem is with remote access, you tend to have a bit of a delay, so you have to be careful. So we open this up. Okay, yeah, we want it to be on the right-hand side of the screen here. Okay, so we have the scheduling manager software on the left and the Excel document on the right. Now, the first thing we want to do with this Excel document is clear the contents of the calculator, and that means all of this data that we find within these four columns, inside the grey little box here, right? So everything outside the box we want to leave alone. Just these four columns here, highlight them and clear. Okay. Now, as I said, I'll give you the file, the folder location here. It's called Combined Monthly Invoices, and what we want to do is create the first thing we want to do is create a new folder for the current month. So the month, I've already done October for this month, so I'm just going to rename this just so that it's out of the way. Okay, so we want to create a new folder. This is the first step, and name it as the relevant month that we're dealing with, and we are usually dealing with the month that has just passed previously. So we're currently in November, and we're doing the invoices for October, so we call it October 2016, just like that. The next thing we want to do is we want to go into this folder, and we want to create another folder. We want to call it PDFs, capital PDF, lowercase s. Then we want to go back and go to the month previous to the one we're dealing with. So we were dealing with October, we want to go back into September, and we want to find the folder called Word. We want to copy this folder. Oops. So just right click, copy. Then we want to go back to the current month's folder, October, and we want to paste that folder in there. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to go into the Word folder, and you'll see we have a list of Word documents. and these are all the invoices that we sent out last month for each of our customers. What we want to do is we want to rename each one of these with the correct month. So as you can see, these are all labelled with September. However, we're now dealing with October, so we want to rename all of these. So we'd have to go in, highlight it, replace it with October. I'll try and cut this out of the video just so we can skip ahead. Okay, we're done. Now, so as you can see, I've renamed all of the files with October instead of September. Now the first thing we want to do is select the first file of the list, so number 1 up here, and open it. Okay. Now the first thing we want to do when we open this is click the date. And when we click the date, there is a drop-down box, and we can select today. And that changes it to today's date. Then what we want to do is we want to delete the contents of this table. So it's a little bit tricky to make sure we don't delete the table itself. We want to highlight the first column just like this. We don't want to highlight too far so that it highlights like this, as you can see, because that's when we delete it, it just deletes it in the wrong way. So we want to highlight it like this, and then right click and click delete table, and that just gets rid of all the data in there, gets rid of all the little cells that are in there. And that's because when later on we're going to copy and paste data from an Excel document into there, so it copies the actual cells and not just the numbers. So then we highlight the cells again for the job number column, press delete, and then the amount column, and press delete. Okay, so now this invoice is ready to use. The next step is we want to go to the Scheduling Manager system here, and we want to take the name of the invoice that we're currently working on, and that is Access Self-Storage. So all the words up to and before the date, that will be the name of the company. So I'm just going to type it, but you can get the software perhaps to actually copy this from the file name. And then we go into the system, we click this button up here, this little magnifying glass, search, and it opens up the box. We then want to copy and we then want to paste the name of the customer. I'm just going to type it, Access Self-Storage, and press search. Okay, usually this should bring up just the one customer, and then we're going to click on that customer, and then as you can see it opens up the data for this customer. Then what we want to do is up here we have these tabs. We want to click on the Jobs tab, okay, and we want to, and this displays all the jobs that have been done for this customer. We want to scroll down to the month that we're dealing with, which is October, and we want to gone too far. We want to check that all of the jobs in October have been marked as a status as completed. Okay, and it should be purple, like as you can see. For example, if it hasn't been completed, then it wouldn't be purple. It would be like this. It would just say active. Okay. There is also another scenario in which the job may say cancelled, and it will be in yellow, and that would be irrelevant if there's no problem if it's cancelled. If, however, any of the jobs within the current month are marked as active, then we simply have to make a note of this somewhere. Maybe we can have a separate document that just notes down the name of all the customers that have this problem where one of the jobs hasn't been completed. So we just have a Word document and the name. So, for example, if it was this customer access, we just write access self-storage, and that would be that. However, this customer is absolutely fine. As you can see, all of the jobs have been completed. Okay. So the next step is to go up here to this little money symbol. Okay, this is the transaction details. And it opens up another table here. We want to then scroll down again to the first day of the month we're dealing with. We're dealing with October, so there we go. There's October, and the first day is the 3rd. And what we want to do is we want to highlight the first 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we want to highlight all the way down until we get to bottom. Now, in other scenarios, you may find that there is a payment row in this data sheet. Let me see if I can find you an example. So we'll just go to the next customer as an example. For example, here, this is what this column here in grey, and the amount would be negative, and this label here would have some sort of text in it, okay, as opposed to being empty like this. So when we come across one of these, we want to, when we're highlighting, as I was doing before, highlighting down like this, we don't want to highlight these payment rows, okay? We only want to highlight the job rows, okay? So when we get to that far, we want to highlight up until then, and then we want to stop, okay? And then we would copy that into the combined invoice calculator, the Excel document here. So let's just go back to the customer we were dealing with. So we want to highlight all the data for October. First 4 columns, and for October there are no payment rows in the way, so we simply highlight everything. If there was a payment row in the way, we highlight everything, copy it in, and then continue highlighting the rest of the jobs underneath that payment, and continue. If there are more than one payment, then just continuously copy and paste until you have all the data for that month. If the jobs continue on to the next month, so if there was some jobs here for November, then we wouldn't highlight those. We'd only highlight the ones that go up until the end of October. So we do that, and we copy it, and we insert it here into the A4. Into the cell for A4. And there we go. We copy it into the first cell. It should appear like this. And then the calculator will automatically give us the subtotals, the VAT, and the total. We then close this down, the transaction data, by pressing the red exit button, and we bring our invoice back. Now what we want to do is we want to input the subtotal, this amount here, and replace the previous subtotal with the new subtotal. So the new subtotal is £455.0. So 455.0. Then we want to replace the VAT, which is £91.0. Then we want to finally replace the total, which is £546.0. Then what we want to do is copy and paste some of this data into our table. So firstly we would highlight all of the dates in the date column and copy that. Then we want to click inside the table for the date column here and paste that into there. Then we want to highlight this row in the B column. These are the job numbers. Copy that and paste it into the job number column of the invoice table. Then we want to finally highlight the subtotals, which is outside the table, which is this column here. Highlight all of these amounts here and copy them, and then paste them into the amounts column again, just like that. And then we just click anywhere outside the table, and it ensures that the table is lined up just like this, as you can see. There tends to be a space underneath until you click outside the box. Okay, and then that's the invoice done. We can then click the Save button to save the Word document, and then we want to click the Save As button. We want to leave the file name as it is, but we want to change the Save As type to PDF, and we also want to change the location to the PDFs folder that we created earlier. Okay, so and then we save it in there like that, and then it will open up the PDF, and that should be fine. We close the PDF and we close the Word document. We've already saved it, and save again. Yeah. And then that's it. That's the process for one customer. Then we would simply have to repeat that process again for each customer on the list, as you can see, and just go through each one until all the customers are completed. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to speak to me on Upwork, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.